Kia ora. This is my Mana Tangata Aromatawai 1 recording, and this is part of our Aromatawai 1 Mana Tangata. So our Mana Tangata Aromatawai is to develop an understanding of rongoa models and practices as an expression of Mana Tangata. First, we must analyse rongoa models as an expression of Mana Tangata. Number two, we must speak about rongoa models as the subject of rangahau. Number three, we should discuss tikanga attributes and principles of best practice models are explored. And number four, develop our own model of practice. So the first model of practice that I've created or that I've rangahaued is Te Whare Tapawha, is a model of well-being developed by Sir Mason Jury in 1984. It views health and well-being as a wharenui or a meeting house supported by four walls. If we look at the whare as a personification of oneself, it would look at strengthening the balance of the whole house. If one wall is weakened, the strength and balance of the whole house is pretty much affected. When we talk about house, we talk about taha wairua, which is our spiritual space, taha hinengaro, which is our mental emotional space, taha whānau, which is our family and friends, taha tinana, which is our physical. In this particular picture, you can see whenua, which is our land and place of grounding, as well as hauora. The tikanga and attributes that we have to Te Whare Tapawha was taha wairua. It creates a sense of purpose and meaning and cultural identity. It also speaks about connection to our whakapapa and to our tupuna atua. It also speaks about spiritual beliefs and values and well-beings and connection to the whenua and the atua. Through tikanga, we do karakia, whakapapa acknowledgement, whether that's whai kōrero, could be through karanga, respect for tapu and no, and it's about honouring sacred spaces culturally and spiritually. The best practice is about using it for opening and closing hui, and creating opportunities for whānau to have reflection spaces. And respect diverse spiritual beliefs incorporated through pūrākau and mātauranga Māori. Tahi hinengaro looks at the emotional awareness. It's a positive thinking, resilience, self-confidence, and communication skills. It builds on manaakitanga and connection, active listening, being respectful, kōrero between people, trust and confidentiality, as well as compassion and empathy. It fosters safe and supportive environments, encourages open discussion and reflection, and uses strength-based approaches to support people in their personal growth. Taha tinana is the physical health and well-being, nutrition, fitness, mobility, rest and sleep, and safety and vitality. It respects, in the tikanga, respects for the body as a taonga, hygiene practices, approachable food handling and customs, like within the marae, within our home, like washing your hands, and separation of kai and bodily functions where appropriate. The best practices is encouraging healthy eating and hydration, and promote physical activity, support preventative healthcare, maintain safe environments, and encourage rest and self-care. Taha whānau looks at the family, sense of belonging, healthy relationships, support, networks, and collective responsibility, identity, and connection. It speaks to whanaungatanga, manaaki, kotahitanga, aroha, and respect, and collective care. It strengthens family and community connections. It encourages participation and includes building supportive peer relationships and promoting collaboration and teamwork and celebrating people's successes. The next health model we looked at was Te Wheke by Rose Petty from 1984. This model uses the image of an octopus to represent the interconnectedness of dimensions of health and well-being. The head of the heke represents the whānau, while the tentacles represent a different aspect of well-being. The eye represents waiora, total well-being for the individual and whānau. Um, I also discussed tikanga attributes and best practices of Te Wheke, looking at wairuatanga, spiritual connections, and tikanga of karakia, and beginning and ending karakia, encouraging spiritual reflection again. With hinengaro, the mind, thoughts and emotions, being mentally well, and having respectful communication, active listening, and confidentiality, and providing safe spaces for kōrero, self-reflection, and promote positive coping thoughts. Taha Tinana speaks about physical health, nutrition, movement, exercise, and caring for the body as a taonga and healthy lifestyle practices while promoting healthy eating, as well as sleep, rest, and having a balance. Whanaungatanga is about social support and collective responsibility, through manaakitanga, kaitiakitanga, respect from others, and strengthening family and community connections, while also fostering supportive relationships with others and encouraging participation. Maori is about the energy, life force. That's another one of the tentacles, in creating balance and essence. And it's a respect for all living things, connection to the native bushes, to nature, and support activities that restore our energy. Manaake is about confidence, personal strengths, cultural clarity, and recognizing an individual's mana and respectfully, being respectful to diversity and celebrating achievements and healthy relationships. Ha a koroma a kuyama is about ancestral wisdom, and traditions and values, and speaking to whakapapa, and respect for our elders. It also includes pūrākau and whakapapa. Whatu manawa. Sometimes people call this the whatu manawa. And it's about empathy and love for others, and aroha, manaaki, respectful relationships, and encouraging healthy environments to allow nurturing growth. So my framework I've developed is called Te Ao, developed this year. When I speak to my first po is whenua. It speaks about individuals being grounded in their identity and connection to whakapapa, strengthening through belonging, and empowered to contribute to the well-being of future generations. When we look deeper into whenua, it also looks at whakapapa, mana whenua, kaitiakitanga, whenua ki te whenua, which is sustainability, manaakitanga, mauriora, and whanaungatanga. And it aligns us not just to ourselves, it allows us to be aligned to our tipuna, to our atua, to our whenua, like through pūrākau, how we are connected from Hene Ahone, from the Kurawaka o Papatuanuku, and being connected through that space there, and being able to know who you are and where you come from, and being confident to be able to stand and say, this is me and this is where I stand. Moving into why. So the reason I chose why, because it's a good space of reflection, clarity, healing, and nourishment. Why represents also movement and reflection and transformation. Like water, people must sometimes flow and adapt, cleanse, heal, and renew themselves. Individuals develop clarity through reflection, restore balance through healing, nourish their well-being, and learn to move through life's challenges with resilience, adaptability, and a purpose. When we speak to why, we look at the words wairua, wairuatanga. We also look at the words Maori, tapu me noa, kaitiakitanga again, whakanoa, and manakitanga. These are important practices when being able to mahi from a holistic well-being and creating balance. It recognizes emotional dimensions of healing, restoring life within ourselves, life within the movement, because we're 70% water, right? So that is restoration when we start to heal. It's also about understanding that there is times where we need to cleanse and clear and get rid of things that no longer serve purpose for us. So that's tapu me noa, and water does that for us. It's also about respecting our environment, our waterways, and being culturally understanding of who we are. Um, yeah, and who we are, and being monarching ourselves as well as others, and that's where that flow comes into play. When we look at my next po I spoke about is ngahere. It's about individuals who grow in self-awareness, confidence, knowledge, and resilience. They develop a strong sense of purpose, embrace long life learning, and empowered to lead themselves and contribute positively to whānau, hapori, future generations. When we look at the ngahere, there's the tikanga behind it is ako, rangatiratanga, mātauranga Maori, kaitiakitanga again. As you can see, that's a persistent whanaungatanga, manamotu hake, ako and whanaungatanga, and rangatiratanga and manamotu hake. It's about teaching and learning, supporting one another, and valuing our Indigenous cultural rights, and learning through caring and protecting our environments being ourselves as individuals. Also developing independence and confidence to be able to grow and be the next awesome generation, to healing. These attributes of self-awareness, growth, knowledge, end up allowing us to encourage others to be strong, to be able to create individual development plans for ourselves, as well as making sure that they're achievable, so then they're attainable to get to. It's about encouraging well-being, learning, cultural aspirations, through the ngahere space. So, as you can see, at the centre of Te Ao framework stands the po that holds everything together, tika, pono, and aroha. These are not separate concepts but interconnected values that provide strength, direction, and purpose to every aspect of well-being. Like the heartwood of a great tree, the po supports whenua, nourishes wai, and enables growth of the ngahere. And that's like us within as individuals. Tika gives us direction, pono gives us truth, and aroha gives us a purpose. Together they form the po that holds the te ao framework upright, grounded in whenua, flowing through the wai and growing within ngahere. The po of tika, pono, and aroha ensures that every step is taken with integrity, every relationship is built on truth, and every action is guided by compassion. Mā te tika a whaka atu te huarahi, mā te pono a whakapūmau te tangata, mā te aroha e hono te katoa. Through tika, the pathway is revealed. Through pono, the person is strengthened. And through aroha, all things are connected. So that concludes my huge ass framework. And nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā rā koutou katoa.